Hello everyone and welcome back to another Wizzy Vulture Benton vlog. As you can tell, this one's a little bit different. I'm at home and this is after champs and this is what this vlog's going to be on, so enjoy. So unfortunately I didn't vlog at the time I did this. I kind of tried to, but then it was just too stressful and I was getting myself all worked up, so I just decided just to focus on the job in hand, because that's what it's all about at the end of the day. Vlogging is just a bonus if you get the footage and whatever else, and you know, to be honest, this isn't an experience that I wanted to relive. So anyway, on to champs. So roll back a few days before champs and I had Seren scoped for ulcers, because at camp she was really girthy and tacking up, and just the way she was stopping and just how reluctant she was to go forward in the cross country, I was like, maybe there's something wrong there. And it was just starting to niggle in the back of my head that maybe this is a pain thing that she's stopping. Well, of course it's bloody not, is it? She was all clear for the ulcers. Like the vet said, there was literally nothing wrong with this pony's stomach. No sign of inflammation, literally nothing, no sign of acid splashback, nothing. So got Protexine Acides to thank for that. So use it, guys. Preventative is better than reactive and treatment. So yes, okay, champs. 4:30 get up to travel an hour and a half. I just felt so unprepared because I'd had work the day before and just had not time to pack. Because to be honest, until Wednesday after the scope, I didn't know if I was going or not. And I ummed and ahed for ages about going, but I was like, this is a once in a lifetime thing. And I did feel a bit of a fraud, to be honest, because I only got there by default because my team qualified in the combined training qualifier and they won, so I was part of that team, so naturally I got to go. And I was like, oh, I feel like such a fraud, but they said, you know, you're part of the team, come along. So anyway, after the fiasco with the passport, I sorted all of that. The vets were at fault and they sorted it, so that's all done. That's off my mind now. So arrived at champs and immediately I was like, oh my god, what have I got myself into? I just felt so unprepared. I felt like such a noob. Poor Callum had to be dragged along as well, and it just wasn't very good. So yeah, good morning everyone. It is 4:30 in the morning and currently questioning why we do this. So it says he's having a breakfast at the moment.
We are on in 30 minutes. There's a lot to be done.
There is a lot to be done, yeah. Should I go?
And a slot to be found.
I had to do the passport check, so I was a bit nervous for that. I was like, come on, I've got a bit of PTSD now from Bald Heath and being turned away. But no, past all that. Check one done. Passport sorted. Had my hat silk tagged and they did say to me, they were like, are you doing this for dressage? And I was like, yeah. And then I thought, why did they ask me that? Anyway, so walked down to dressage. They did like a tack check, so one of the people said, I'm not sure that hat silk really fits the criteria, and she signed me off anyway. So yeah, total noob here, Hannah. I just felt like I felt so embarrassed at that point, because I was like, I am literally so out of practice and so out of the loop. I should have just read up, but I didn't. I'm terrible for doing that. So yeah, I went in there. Everyone else had their smart hats on. Not that my hat wasn't smart with the stockinger hat silk, but it was for the wrong kind of discipline. So anyway, the warm-up was absolutely ram-packed, and I was so proud of Sarah, and she just took it on her chin and she just trotted around just like we were schooling at home, really off my leg. Just felt really chilled, like so chilled. And I did give her some quick fix beforehand, and I will swear by that thing, it is amazing. Like, she schooled lovely, and onto the dressage, and you know what, I was absolutely chuffed with the dressage test. Like, she struggles with canter so much, and she got every single transition bob on. So I was really, really pleased with the dressage. So she entered really nicely down the centre line, but you can see Newbie here has trotted in on the wrong diagonal. So that probably got me marks down. Then it was tracked right, and she hit a really nice rhythm straight away. Like, she did not feel tense at all, which is such an achievement with Saren, because she was so tense when I first got her. And the last time we were in between whiteboards was last year, so you know, she just took it on the chin and just schooled round like she was at home, and it was a really nice feeling that she could just come out to an arena and just be like, I can do this, mum. So the next move was a 20-metre circle at A, and you had to canter between X and F. And this is Saren's worst rein for canter, but you know what? She absolutely nailed that transition. I was so chuffed with that. I've worked so hard on that blooming canter. And you can see here, she's so hard to keep into canter, into that 3-beat rhythm. But you know what? She does really, really well, and I'm really proud of her. She did drop into trot a little bit there, just couldn't hold it quite on the corner, and then we do drop back to trot a little bit too early, so we were meant to trot in between B and F, and I just couldn't hold it anymore. So yeah, that was a bit of a fail. Hello, pony. And she went to walk really nicely, really actively walking ahead, which she didn't jog or do like a little tritty trot. She just went into a nice active walk across there. Could have been straighter. Jesus wept, Hannah. Sorry, I'm watching this live as well. And then we had to mirror again what we did at the top end. So this time it was trotting at M, and then a 20-metre circle at C this time, and again on the 20-metre circle between, I'm trying to remember the things here, C and B, working canter, and a lovely transition. Really, really proud of her. This is definitely her stronger rein, and you can already see that she's a little bit more stronger in this canter, and it's kind of a bit more 1 2 3 1 2 3 rather than the 1 2 3 4 running like a little ostrich. Yeah, really proud of her. Really tried to hold her into that canter, and unfortunately again we just dropped into trot a little bit too early, but it kind of mirrored what I'd done with the last move, so I hope I wouldn't get penalised for that. But anyway, and then into a nice walk, and what you had to do is come on H to B and free walk on a long rein, and she just popped her head down. She maybe could have been a bit more active in the walk, head down a bit lower, but you know, proud of her. And then back up to collect her for a nice walk there, still active, bit noddy, bit reluctant to go on to the bridle, and then back into trot at F, and then down the centre line and finish at G. And then on to show jumping. So my times were so close together in the dressage and show jumping, I hadn't had time to walk the course. So I quickly ran around the course, and I did manage to learn it. Like, it wasn't hard to learn, but yeah, it just felt all very rushed. Then I had to rush back to the trailer and change her into a show jumping gear, So I went on my own, and like she was antsy at the trailer, and I just thought, oh god, here we go. Then got her into the warm up and the show jumping, and she was really backwards off my leg, like really nappy. So I tried to get her going a bit more, and she hit the back bar. Like she jumped the spread and was just so sluggish. Like she just hit the back bar, and I was like, oh come on, Seren, like pick your feet up. So I gave her a few digs with the spurs and gave her a bit of a smack to say, come on, wake up. And then I should have maybe took a bit more time to warm her up for the jumping in hindsight, because they said I could wait. But anyway, I went straight in. To be honest, I just wanted over and done with that point. I just felt so embarrassed before I'd even got into show jumping. And on to the show jumping. Right. You can see a similarity in the setup of the warm-up to the left and the jump coming off the diagonal. It was like bloody deja vu. And I'd already kind of thought it in my head that might cause a bit of a problem, but I thought no, I can just ride through it. So came in, I was very nervous, and I think she fed off that. She was a bit spooky around there, a bit reluctant to move off my leg. In hindsight, should have given her 2 behind just to say, come on, you can do this. Anyway, rode her really positively. Came off that turn, rode really nicely to number 1. She was absolutely flying, feeling really confident. Those jumps aren't big at all. She backed up a little bit there, but then popped that absolutely lovely. And then here we go, coming off that round spuds thing and napping again. Who's seen that before? I have.
Getting back into the game and loving every minute of it.
So yeah, as the commentator's doing a lovely voiceover about me, my horse has been an absolute pillock. At this point, I just given up. I was just like, oh, for goodness sake, this is so embarrassing. Coming all this way and getting to fence 3. Thank you very much, Seren, you little pig.
Come on.
She's such a little toad. Like you can see her ears. She's not listening. She's napping. All she cares about is going back to that warm-up, and oh, she's died on me. Thank you, Seren. And just burst into tears on the way out. And I'm really embarrassed that I burst into tears and had like a little mini breakdown. But at the end of the day, I have had so many rides like this now at shows, and it's just soul destroying. Like, she goes out from one day to being amazing, and then the next to being refusing and getting eliminated, and it's just so frustrating. And I honestly wanted to just sack everything in. I just wanted to throw in the towel and be like, right, Seren's for sale, I'm giving up, I'm not riding anymore, I'm a rider, blah de blah de blah. And I just completely got into my own head. But luckily I had Callum on hand, and he is the best for just being like so basically, like in the nicest way. He just was like, you're not giving up, you love this. It's just one of those bad days. So I whinged and moaned and got myself into a right little tiz on the way home as well. We just went straight home pretty much. Watched a few people and then went straight home because I just wanted to get home, to be honest. So on the way home, I was like, that little witch, she is going to work hard now. I'm going to make her work hard because I know there's nothing wrong with her. There's no ulcers. She's just taking the mick. So Radford's had their BE cross country. Well, they had their BE event a few weeks ago, and they were offering this cross country course for schooling. So do you know what? I booked it, and it could have either gone one way or the other, but I went with so much determination. At Champs, I bought some new spurs, and they're a bit shorter and a bit sharper, basically, because that's what I need. I had 2 schooling whips with me, and I had my new spurs, and I was armed, and I felt ready, and I had the determination to turn my day around, and I was like, we will and we can do this. So she backed off my leg a little bit starting on the cross country schooling, so literally just gave her 2 either side and did big dig with the spurs, and she was like, whoa, mum means business. And then it was like a light bulb just switched on her. Like, I started just popping the 30 centimetre jumps and then just gradually building up. They were just like 60s, some 70s and stuff. just gradually building up. And then I popped one of the 80s. She did stop it at the first time, so she did get her telling off. Just gave her two either side and a big boot with the spurs, because she needs to learn that she cannot stop. So anyway, rode back round with more determination, but this time Sarah was actually taking me into the fences. And by the end of that, I didn't have anyone on the ground with me to film, so sorry, you'll just have to deal with what I got.
I was very lucky. I found another Lone Ranger out on the cross-country course, and she wanted me to film her, so I asked for her to return the favour. Unfortunately, her horse was a stallion, so it was calling to Sarah and distracting her.
And by the end of that cross country, honestly, I could have cried with how happy I was, because she was just flying, absolutely flying into them. She jumped the owl hole, she jumped everything. Not necessarily first time, she had a little stop and a spook, but, well, not a spook, just a stop, as if she said, I'm not sure about that, Mum. But I just kicked her on, gave her 2 whips either side if I felt her backing off, and by the end she was flying. So we finished off doing the whole BE course, came out the start box and everything. Sarah was absolutely loving it, and I was so pleased. Like, that just proved to me it's all about confidence with her. She's not in pain, you know. It's nothing to do with me, because I rode really confidently like I always do, but she was actually forward, so I could use even more and get even more confident. And it was such a good session to have to finish off the day, and I just turned my day around completely. I just felt so good. Like, afterwards, I was just like, that's it, tick. It was a good day, and yeah, I'm so pleased. So moral of the story, keep freaking going, because you can do it, and we will get there eventually. It's just going to take some time and training and lots of frustration with Sarah. But yes, that's why we're on this journey, and I hope it's relatable to people, because the last thing you want to see on Instagram and social media is someone having the time of their lives and looking all peachy and, like, you know, in the ribbons and whatever, and pretending that it all went fine that day, when really probably it didn't. And I think that's what social media kind of sucks you into thinking, but actually in reality there's a whole other story behind that. So there's my story. I hope you enjoyed. Give us a like, share, follow, and subscribe for more. So bye. Thanks for watching.